Hey friends, welcome back to the Real Herbalist Podcast. It is Erin here, your host, and I'm excited today to talk with you about 5 herbs you can use during pregnancy and how you can use them in a few different ways. I just want to remind you briefly that if you are here on the Real Herbalist Podcast, it is because you are a real herbalist. And what makes you a real herbalist, you might ask? Oh, yes, you are a human being and you play with herbs. It is that simple. It is that easy. And I want to show you how simple and easy herbalism really can be on this podcast. So I hope you check out all my other episodes as well as my YouTube channel, which I will link in the show notes, where I have an Herbalism for Beginners playlist, a recipes list, and some of these podcast episodes on YouTube format as well. So I hope you'll come visit me over there and on my Instagram at Erin with 2 N's. One other thing I do want to mention is that when you Google herbs during pregnancy, you're going to find a lot of pushback, even with some very gentle herbs and herbs that I just can't even imagine not using them during pregnancy. So here's the thing. When I was pregnant, I took this class called Herbalism During Pregnancy, and the woman who was teaching it said this thing that really helped me simplify and understand herbalism and pregnancy and how to move forward with it. So I'm going to share that with you today. What she said was, yes, there are indeed some herbs that can end a pregnancy, but even those herbs have to be taken in very high amounts for long periods of time, like weeks, in order to end a pregnancy. So something super simple, just making a tea for yourself, is not going to cause your pregnancy to end. Now, the caveat with that for me is always listen to your intuition. You know your body, you know your baby, you can feel in your body what's right for you. So always listen to yourself. If there's something on this list that you don't want to use, then don't freaking use it. That's called body sovereignty, folks. We may even have an episode coming up where I talk about body sovereignty because I'm very passionate about it. But essentially, you are in charge of your own body. So no one can tell you what is right and what is not right for you, including your doctor. Shocker. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I want to jump into these 5 herbs. Number 1 is ginger. So ginger is great for digestion. It also can be really great for nausea. And I've heard a lot of women using it for morning sickness. So this can be a really great one to have in your back pocket. So there's a few ways that you can make it. One is a tea. So you can make a soothing ginger tea by steeping some fresh slices of ginger in hot water or using dried ginger in tea bags, and you could add some honey for sweetness if you wanted it a little bit sweet. You could use it in your cooking. You could incorporate fresh or ground dried ginger into any of your meals. It pairs great with stir fries, soups, smoothies. I mean, you can do so many things with ginger. The next thing is you could find or make for yourself ginger candy. I've seen little ginger chews at like the grocery store or Trader Joe's in like a little tin. They'd be great for alleviating nausea and something that you could just like keep in your purse and take out with you. Okay, next is raspberry leaf. So a lot of people talk about raspberry leaf. It's commonly used in the 2nd and 3rd trimester to support the uterine health and the uterine softening to make birth easier. I did take some during my pregnancy. I'm not really sure how much it helped, but I like to use herbs because it just makes me feel good. So whatever you like to do. You can also make an infusion, which is just basically like a tea, but you would steep it for longer in a larger amount. When I do infusions, I get like a quart-sized jar and I put, maybe 3 or 4 times the amount of tea bags or loose leaf tea I would put in just like a regular cup of tea. And then I fill the whole thing with hot water, put a cover over the lid, and leave that for, up to 24 hours or even longer if you forget about it. No big deal. So this is going to be like a little bit stronger than just drinking it as a tea. You can also get it in capsules. Some women choose to take raspberry leaf supplements in capsule form. Just check out the recommended dosage. I haven't personally taken any in capsule form, so I can't speak directly to it, but it is an option if you're not really a huge fan of tea. Also, I just want to say, if you are making any of these herbs in tea form, Just a reminder that you can drink them as hot tea or you can drink them as cold tea. A lot of times when I steep tea in the summertime and I don't want to drink hot drinks, I'll just fill a quart-sized jar with water, throw in my loose leaf herbs or tea bags, put a lid on, and put it in the fridge for 24 hours, and it will steep fine that way as well. So if you're not wanting to do like boiling water or hot tea, you can make tea just as easily just in the fridge and then pour it over ice or drink it at room temperature, whatever you want. Next is peppermint. So you can make peppermint tea. It's super refreshing. It helps with digestion. It can help with nausea as well. If you're hot, it helps because pregnancy is a very hot and warming time for the body. When I was pregnant during the summer months, I was so freaking hot. So peppermint is great for that. So yeah, you can make a tea with it. You can also use it for aromatherapy. So like inhaling peppermint oil to alleviate headaches. I like putting a little bit of peppermint essential oil on my thumb and then pressing it to the roof of my mouth. That is a really nice way to alleviate headaches and just promoting a sense of calm because peppermint is a nervine herb as well. So it helps to calm the nervous system. And then you can also do like topical application. You can dilute some peppermint oil with a carrier oil and apply it to your temples if you have headaches as well. Okay, number 4 is chamomile, my favorite. Okay, so you can make a tea with chamomile. It can promote relaxation and alleviate stress. It's also good for digestion. If you make it a little bit stronger, it kind of turns bitter. And then it's great for helping your body digest fats. If you have like a grumbly tummy, it's nice. But otherwise, you can just enjoy chamomile just plain, or you can add some honey, or you can even add it with cacao. I really like mixing cacao and chamomile. It's a nice way to just have a little bit of energy with the cacao, but also balancing it with the calmness of the chamomile, something I like to do. You can do a steam inhalation with chamomile. So you can pour some boiling water into like a large bowl with some chamomile in it, and then put your head over the bowl and a towel over your head to sort of trap in the steam. It's great for nasal congestion, sinus discomfort, and just creating calm in the system. So yeah, be careful with that hot water. You may not want to use like mega boiling water, but get it hot enough so that it will steam, and then throw a towel over your head. It's really super nice. And then you can also put it in your bath. So you could just put some chamomile flowers directly in the bath water, or you could throw some tea bags in your bath water, or you could make a really strong chamomile tea, like an infusion, like we talked about earlier in this episode, and make the infusion and then throw that in the bath water. I find that sometimes just throwing tea bags directly in the bath water really it's like the bath doesn't get hot enough to really steep the tea to the amount that it would if you just did like an infusion and then poured the infusion into the bath water. So your preference, whatever you want to do, but that's just a little pro tip there. Okay, next, and our final herb is lemon balm. So make a tea with lemon balm. It's great for calming. It's believed to help with anxiety and promote relaxation. You could also use in a tincture form, which is like an alcohol-based extract in small doses for stress relief. I'm not a huge tincture person just because I don't really enjoy the taste of alcohol, but if you don't like alcohol, you can make a tincture essentially out of glycerin instead of alcohol. So that's another option as well if you just want to take it in more of like a high dose amount, not mega high dose, but just like a higher dose without having to drink like a giant thing of tea. So that's an option. You can also throw it on your salads as like a fresh garnish. It's really yummy. It has a lemony, fresh taste, and it can be added to salads or other dishes for like a mild lemon flavor. Awesome, Mama. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And if you are pregnant or plan to become pregnant, which I assume that you are if you're listening to this episode, I recommend checking out my Natural New Mama video series, which I will be coming out with pretty soon. You can subscribe to my newsletter to get every video in that series, or just follow along on YouTube. Not all the videos will be going live on my YouTube channel, so I do recommend signing up for my newsletter, but I will be sharing more about my free birth and wild pregnancy journey. I'm a mama now, which you probably know, so things take a little bit more time. I have less, free time to work on my business. So it'll come out when it comes out. I'm not making any promises about timing, but that is coming. And I will be creating a really, really beautiful offering for newly pregnant mamas to receive spiritual and emotional support during pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. So if that is something that you're interested in, remember to just follow along with my journey and what I'm creating. My newsletter, Instagram, YouTube, and here on the podcast are great places to do that. Thank you, friends. I hope this episode was supportive for you. And remember that your relationship with the herbs is your birthright. It can be easy, simple, and fun. If you're new to herbalism and you want to listen to some other podcast episodes, I recommend checking out episode 5, where I talk about top supplies for a beginner herbalist. You can also check out episode 9, where I talk about the best places to buy organic herbs. And I also recommend, especially for pregnant mamas, episode 13, where I talk about how to advocate for yourself with doctors, because that is a really, really important topic if you are becoming pregnant and choose to engage with the Western medical system. So check out those episodes. If you want to play more on the podcast, come say hi on Instagram, YouTube, and I'll see you on the next episode, friends. Lots of love.